Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by. I'm coming at you with another video of what's for dinners. On this night, I've made this a lot during the summer whenever we have zucchini coming out of our ears in the garden, but this is a chicken and zucchini casserole. Now this zucchini isn't from our garden because it's fall and we actually never preserved any because we just constantly used it. With this recipe, you do not have to peel it. I kind of wanted like a moderate amount of green in there, but if you don't want any green at all, you can completely peel it. If you like lots and lots of green, totally up to you. But the good thing about zucchini is it kind of absorbs and takes on the flavor that you are putting it in, or whatever you're putting it in, that is. So, if you're kind of wondering about your kid and if they'll eat it, if they tend to be like a picky eater, then I definitely recommend trying it by just, peeling all of it, getting all that green out, and maybe dicing it up a little bit finer and seeing if you can fool them. Probably not, but it's worth a shot. This is a really good recipe and it's definitely worth trying. So you can dice it, shred it. The zucchini just gives off so much moisture, and you can do this with, look at my messy dining room in the background. This is real life, guys. But I'm going to go in with some garlic powder, and then also some pepper, and I'm going to keep the seasonings light in this just because I'm using a box of seasoned stuffing, but I am going to go in with little Cavenders because it just seems to be good with everything. And then I'm going to do 1 can of cream of chicken soup. You can do cream of mushroom, you can do cream of celery, cream of broccoli, because I believe broccoli would be good in this as well if you didn't want to do zucchini. But if you do something like broccoli, it doesn't release a lot of water like zucchini does, so you would probably need to put in a little bit of broth to make up for it. And then I'm taking me a little shortcut and I'm using 2 cans of chicken breast. I've done this with rotisserie chicken, just shredding it up, and I don't even know what I'm trying to show you guys. Probably the size of the can. I broke that chicken up real good, and now I'm just adding about a cup of sour cream. So we got the zucchini, the chicken, the cream of chicken, or whatever cream of soup, and some sour cream, and just mix it up super good. Make sure it's evenly distributed. I've made this with shredded zucchini before, and it was super good. And then we have this box of Hawaiian stuffing mix that I got from Aldi. I love the Hawaiian stuffing. It just gives it like a different flavor. But first, we are going to get a little bowl and set some of the stuffing to the side, because once we get it in the casserole dish, I'm going to melt some butter and mix it with this leftover stuffing mix, and then put it on top of the casserole. And something that I'm looking for in the fridge, I never know where it's at because Harper's constantly getting in the cheese. But I'm just getting some shredded cheese, and I'm just going to use the rest of this Colby Jack cheese here. I've done this with and without cheese, and I actually really like it with a good mild cheese in there. So I'm just going to get that in, mix it real quick with all those wet ingredients before I put in the stuffing. That way it doesn't clump up. Now I'm just going to dump that in. And that's all there is to it. And when you're mixing it, it may seem thick and dry, but if you're using zucchini or like any kind of squash or vegetable that tends to put off moisture as it cooks, don't worry about it. It will work its magic in there. And then it'll make it the perfect consistency, I promise. But as I said, if you wanted to use broccoli or something, I would definitely use some chicken broth or a vegetable broth to make up for that moisture. So here I'm just putting this in my buttered dish. Do any of y'all's casserole dishes like have 100-year-old burnt things on it that will not scrub off? I actually think I took this from my mom's kitchen when I moved out because I just needed a casserole dish. So I'm just going to scoop out all that goodness. And then just evenly distribute it and just smooth it out. Make a nice flat top for that crumbly. Yeah, you want to get all of it, but we're going to make a nice flat top for that crumbly topping. It's going to be so delicious. But see what I mean about those specks of green? If you completely peel the zucchini, I think you could fool some people. I'm just saying. So I'm mixing up 2 tablespoons of butter with a little bit of that stuffing I set aside, and I'm just going to toss it really good. Best mixing device ever is random baby spoons. But we're just going to mix it up really good, and then once I get that butter kind of distributed through all of that stuffing, we're just going to pop it on the top. Yep. Here it is, getting ready to put it in the oven. I just put it on like middle to top rack because I love getting the top nice and crispy because look how good that looks. Kind of working with one hand here, but it doesn't come off the stove. It just looks like it. But look at that. It's so creamy yet like chunky and filling, and this is a huge hit. I swear the whole pan was gone by the end of the night. Pair that with a little wine, and I am ready to dine. Hey guys, I am just gonna do this kind of vlog style. Instead of doing my usual voiceover, I actually got home from campus not too long ago, and I have to go to work. I picked up a shift to help out. So I was kind of crunched on time, but I still wanted to make sure that my family had something to eat when they got home. So you guys want to know what I did? I'm just going to tell you. We're going to be real here. I made some instant potatoes, 2 packets of instant gravy, and this will just sit on the the stove and wait on them. I'm sure it'll still be warm when they get here. But we are making our own KFC bowls. I took a chicken breast from Aldi, and let me tell you, this chicken breast was huge. I literally just used one and diced it up. And as soon as I got home, because this is finals week, so I'm like, oh gosh, finals week is rough. Finals week as a nursing student is a different kind of rough.
It's a different kind of rough. So, but this was still quick and easy. So I just, as soon as I got home from taking my exam, I diced up my chicken. I put it in with some mayonnaise. Don't knock it till you try it, because for a while I knocked it, but then I tried it. I took some mayonnaise, some Cavenders, a little bit of pepperoni juice just for some acidity, paprika, just whatever seasonings, and then it kind of sat in that mixture for a while. And then right before I put it in the oven at 400 degrees, I just kind of tossed it with some Italian breadcrumbs. And then I baked that for almost 30 minutes on a top rack, and I flipped halfway through. So, yeah, I'm getting ready to assemble this KFC bowl, and it's super easy. Like, you can buy the frozen chicken strips and cut them up, or popcorn chicken, just whatever. This is actually a really simple meal, but it's such comfort food. Unreal. All right, so I took those instant potatoes, just layered them just like KFC does with the corn, your chicken, and then I am going to ladle some. This mixed up a little bit better. I'm going to ladle some of this gravy, and there you have it. You can do cheese. I just didn't want cheese, but I did. I remembered to tell Glenn that there's cheese in there, just in case he would want some, because that's what KFC does. But yeah, I'm going to eat some. My family actually isn't home yet, and I'll probably leave for work before they get home. So I'm just going to leave this on the stove for them. Stove's off, and yep, this is just a quick, easy meal that I threw together real quick. Just so I feel a little bit better knowing that I got food in my family's belly, because this week has been no joke. I can't wait for it to be over, just so I can do this finals week thing, maybe, hopefully, 4 more times. So, yeah, I'm just going to be real. This is what my sink looks like. We'll get to that when we get to that. But first, gotta study. And also gotta go to work. So I'll see you guys next time.
And on this day, I actually made two different dinners this day, but this is chicken bacon ranch pasta. I had pressure cooked a chicken breast. That way it was just shreddable. And while I have that resting, I'm going to keep the broth in there that came from when I cooked that chicken breast. And I'm going to add my penne pasta to it. I always struggle on how much pasta I should make, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm kind of wondering, should I add more, which I did, and it ended up being fine, but I always underestimate myself. And then I just want to add a little bit more water to make sure that the pasta is covered, because I am going to make this in the Instant Pot, and I am going to pressure cook it. So I just want to make sure that they're covered to the top. Ignore my messy kitchen. It was a week. I'm just adding a tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to mix it really well just to make sure that they don't clump together whenever they're in there cooking. My Instant Pot is so messy because I had already used it a couple times that day. I was trying to get things prepped because I had to work a couple days after this, and I just wanted to make sure that things were ready whenever Glenn and Harper came home. And I'm going to cook this penne pasta for 4 minutes on manual. And it came out perfect. And in this pot, I don't have it on or anything, but I'm going to mix a jar and a half of an Alfredo sauce that we like, which happens to be Prego. You can certainly make your own pasta, like your own Alfredo sauce, but I do love Prego, so no complaints here. And I'm adding half a packet of dry ranch seasoning, hence the chicken bacon ranch pasta. And I went in with that other half of the jar. And then that chicken that I had cooked and shredded earlier, I'm just going to add that in. And you can use chicken strips, like grilled chicken strips, or whatever texture chicken that you like. We just really, really love the shredded. I'm just going to incorporate that really good. Just make sure it's really good. I'm kind of deciding if I should add more sauce. And of course, with Alfredo, I always add lots of pepper, a little bit of salt, but since I want the ranch to stand out in this with the Alfredo, I don't want to like over noise it, if you will, with a bunch of other different seasonings. And then here I'm taking a little shortcut and using some real bacon pieces. You can certainly get the bacon however you want. You don't even have to put bacon in it. But this always is a hit in our household. Just mixing it real good. Sometimes, and oh, I'm not going to show you what cheese I used. Well, you know what? I'll just tell you. This was a Swiss and Gruyere cheese, and it's all I had. But I really wish I would have used mozzarella because that Swiss, it's like it didn't belong in this. And I didn't realize how zoomed in I was, but I'm smoothing this out in just a regular aluminum pan. And then I'm just going to cover it up with some foil because tomorrow, whenever Glenn gets home, he is just going to pop it in the oven right before he takes Harper to dance school. You'll just bake this at 375 for about 35 to 40 minutes. And you can go ahead and bake it uncovered if you want a nice crispy top, or you can even add extra cheese to the top, but this was divine.
Hey guys, welcome back to an all new What's for Dinner. I don't know if I'm going to do this video by itself or I'll probably just add it in with some other recipes, but I haven't made meatloaf in a while and I've been really craving it. We put like a nice sweet, I say we like somebody's helping me, no me. I put a nice sweet glaze where I use some brown sugar, some, ketchup, and just maybe like a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of mustard. And then right here, I just have a pound of some 93.7 ground beef. This came from a 3-pound roll, so I just had divided it. And then for some seasonings, I'm going to use a little bit of Dale's, some onion powder, garlic, and this mix right here, it's like a Mrs. Dash. It doesn't have any salt in it, just some like some fennel, garlic, all kinds of stuff. I think some orange peel, some salt and pepper, an egg, and since this isn't a ton of meat, and I'm just going to make a smaller one, this is about 3/4 of a sleeve of Ritz crackers. And I'm going to crush those up really good. And I'm going to go in with some Cavenders. And of course, we're going to use these hands. We're going to use these hands to mix it all up too. Alright, so I got all the Ritz crackers. I just crushed them up with my hands. All the seasoning. I did leave out the Mrs. Dash since I went ahead and used some Cavenders. And then I did some ketchup, a cap full of Dale's, and 1 egg. And then my glaze, I'm not going to put it on until like the last maybe 15-20 minutes. So I'm not going to make that right away. I'm just going to leave that there. Yep, I'm going to go in with my hands, mix it up real good. Then I'm going to loaf it. Here she is. I always go in like after I make the loaf, and then I kind of make like a little divot, a little trench, if you will. That way when I do go to put my glaze on, it kind of, some will kind of slide off the sides, but a good bit will just sit in there. And that way, every time you slice it, you will always get a little bit of that glaze because it is so good. So I'm just going to put this in the oven at 350 for an hour. And at about, once it's been in there for about 40 minutes, I'm going to pull it out and then put that glaze all over the top. For now, I'm going to leave it covered. But once I put the glaze on, it will stay uncovered until it's done cooking. Alright, ignore all the mess that is the crumbles on the stove. But last thing I need to do to finish this dinner off, the meatloaf is finishing up in the oven. And I'm just going to make my mashed potatoes and gravy according to the directions. So I have, since I'm doubling the mashed potatoes, I have 4 cups of water in here, a cup of water in this smaller one for the gravy. Just going to make them according to the directions, and then a dinner will be done.
And here we have it, guys. I topped my little side salad with this everything bagel seasoning. I love it on salad. And I'm just going to finish this off with some brown gravy. I'm even going to put it on the meatloaf. I love brown gravy on savory, just comfort dishes like this. And that's it. I hope you liked what you seen. And if you do, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Bye, guys.